Hello everyone, this is Nandakumar Chess Coach. So this is the second session of the workshop. So today we are going to discuss about the chess pieces, how it move, how it go like that. So let's go to the instruction now. So let's see the rook. So rook is a kind of like a major piece because it can go like two types of squares. For example, if you place the rook in the center of the board on e4 square, the rook can go like light squares and also in the dark squares. So the rook basically go in a straight line, left side, right side, up side, and down side. So you can see the rook here on e4 square, the rook can go towards left and then towards right, upside or downside. So this is the ability of the rook. You can choose any one of the square to move the rook in this position. Like this, the rook on e4, it goes to b4, like this. Yeah. So if you want, you can place your rook in your chessboard, place it on d4 square and try to move it up. So basically the rook can go in a straight line. It can only go in a straight line like this, upside, down, right side, and left side, like this. So you can choose any one of these squares to move the rook. Now the bishops. So as you're aware that the bishop can go in only in a diagonal way, it can go only in a standing line. For example, the bishop on d5 in this particular square, it's a light square, so that the bishop can only go in a light square. You can see a bishop on d5, it can go in a diagonal way. Like the bishop on d5 can go to e4, f3, g2, or h1. Yeah. So you can see this is a light square bishop. So it can only go in a light squares in a diagonal way. Like this. Okay. So now it's a dark square bishop. So the dark square bishop can only go in a dark squares. Right. So you can see the bishop on e5 went to b2 square. Okay, so you can place your dark square bishop on the dark square on e5 so that you can try to move the bishop to h2. If you want, you can put your bishop on here on b8 square, or you can put your bishop on h2. You can even put your bishop on a1 square or h8. So you can choose any one of these squares for the bishop. It's very easy. The bishop can only go in a slanting line. Now the queen is like, it's a powerful piece. If you place the queen in the center of the board, the queen can able to go like 27 number of squares. So it's very easy that the queen can, a queen can go in a straight line and also in a diagonal line. So it basically goes in all the directions, like it goes like rook and also like the bishop. So you can see here, the queen stands on c5, the queen can go upside, downside, left or right, even in a diagonal way. So that is the reason the queen is very powerful piece in chess. Yeah. So you all can see here, the queen on c5 went to f2, moves diagonally. Okay, let's try to move the queen somewhere. For example, the queen is on c5. First, I'm going to move the queen all the way to the c8 square, and from here diagonally towards h3. If you want, you can play this, and if you want, you can take all the way to the left to a3 square and down to a1, and diagonally here h1 towards down, like that. So the queen can go in all the directions to any number of squares. So now the knight is one of very easy piece to move. It goes like L shape. You all can see this. So it's kind of like a capital letter L. You can see the knight on E5. So first the knight go like 2 steps straight, and then it will turn left or right. So basically it goes in a L shape. So you all know that knight is a jumping piece. It can jump over the other pieces and go right. So you can see the knight is standing on dark square, and it can go only to the light squares. Yeah. And also if the knight, if your knight stands in the light square, it can only go in a dark square. So how the bishop can go, the bishop can go in a light square, only in a light square. But the knight, if it is in the dark square, it can only go in a light square. Yeah. So it's kind of like knight goes like in a L shape, like this. It can go 3 steps, first straightly, 2 steps, and then it will turn. Like this or this. For example, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. And also this is 3. So this is how the knight can go. It's very easy. So knight can jump. It can go in like opposite color square. For example, dark square means it can go light square. If the knight is in the light square, it can go in a dark square. Say for example, knight on E5 went to C6. So let's give some move to the knight. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It can go down, it can go up. You can move it towards left. You can move it towards right. 3 steps in L shape. Like this. And remember that if it is in the light square, it can go only the dark squares. And from dark square, it can go in light squares. Like this. It's very easy. Now let's go for the king. So the king is like easiest piece to know because it can go in all the directions, but only 1 step. So you can see the king on F3. It can go only 1 step, but in all the directions. It can go down, it can go right, it can go left, it can go diagonally, but it can only go 1 step. It's very easy. Yeah, like this. So let's move the king here in 1 move. So if you want, you can even take your king to A8, but it takes like 1, 2, 3, 4 moves. It takes 4 moves to reach A8 square. Yeah. It can go right, it can go downward, upward, left, right, like that. Hope you all understand this. So the pieces arrangement, you want to put your rook always in the corner. And near to the rook, there should be knight, 2 knights, one on G1 and another one on B1 square, and 2 bishops, one on F1 and another one on C1 square, queen on D1 and king on E1. The pawns should always be there on 2nd rank. And for black, you can see the black pawn will always stand in the 7th rank. 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops, and black king and black queen. So this is a starting position from black side. So let's do one thing here. You can see the pieces are mingled up. We need to put it in a correct square. So basically the rooks should stand in the corner of the board. So let's take the two rooks here first. So the bishop should be there on one on F1 and another one on C1. First, let's take the queen to D1. As you're aware, the queen should always stand in the D1 square, and then king on E1 square. Put your bishop on E3, other bishop on D3. And the knight should be there on B1 and G1, right? So first let's take knight 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Like this. Likewise, this knight. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. It goes in L shape, as you're aware, and the bishop stays here, and the two rooks should be there on the corner. That's very easy. So this is just for an example, like how to arrange the pieces in a right square to start the game. So this is the end of the lesson. I hope you all learned about the chess pieces, how it moves, what are all the abilities of the pieces, right? Yeah. Thank you.